Hello, welcome to Real Boys Talk. And tonight we're doing Shootin the Shit with the Bruz of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated, my Bruz. And so tonight we're going to talk about a lot of things. It could go any direction. And so here's the rules that you all know. When it comes to shooting the shit, there's no stone that we will not unturn. Conversation, language, it is open ground. Please understand, this is a way for you to take our conversation offline and have it with your friends. You might not like what we say tonight, but guess what? It's all about the thought pattern. It's all about taking what we've said and take it offline to your friends and other organizations and have a conversation about it. If you like what we're saying, that's great too. Again, we are not here to make you like what we're saying. We're bringing information and trying to bring awareness, and also trying to make sure that we, as the masculine presenting organizations that are out here, are doing the right thing and we're walking in a positive light. So here's how we're going to start this conversation off. As many of you know, there were many videos that have been put out, and they started with a probate. They had a pool party stroll. They did a live. They've done a lot of marketing utilizing those different elements into being a marketing tool. Many of us have seen those videos. My brothers have seen those videos. And now guess what? We want to bring our thoughts to the forefront. Some things are going to be opinions. Some people are going to give you some facts, and some people will play devil advocate. And that is all great and wonderful. So we all saw the probate. Let's just start there. How did you all feel about that probate? And we're not looking at the structure. We're not looking at moves. We're looking at the content in which we saw. Anybody?
First of all, I want to say that if I can be completely honest,
you can.
It looked like a bunch of shit thrown together.
And why?
Because first of all, they were mimicking or trying to mimic D9, some of the D9 strolls, which I felt was offensive. One, because it was D9. Two, because they didn't even execute it well. Another thing that I felt that was not proper and in decency and order was the way that they talked and what's the word I'm looking for? Demoralized females, calling them out their names generally. Why?
That's a good question.
And then for them to not even greet the other organizations besides the feminine identified sororities that were there, but the other ones that paved the way. Like, come on, bro. We got to. Where do we do that at? That's just to start off with. For me,
you brought some valid points. So I'm gonna let Max jump in and let's see where, because you got some points that are very valid that we do need to discuss.
For me, the only reason that probate was memorable was because of how offensive it could have come across. That's what it's going to be remembered for. I don't know nothing about your org. You didn't give me no information about your org. The only thing I know about your org is what I perceive on camera. And that is your brand. That is you. And if that is your marketing tool, then that's your marketing tool. I mean, hey, what works for others ain't gonna work for everybody. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you offered nothing memorable. Your stroll has been seen before. It's not original. We know where you got it from. And it's offensive. And I do not come from D9. I have a lot of family members who are D9. There are just certain things that we can't do. Yes, like my bruh said earlier before we started, there's only so many moves you can do. But we know D9 when we see it. We know those brand moves. We know the AKAs stand in the Ivy pose, whipping their hair back and forth, put their arm up like that mirror and look at, like, we know that's AKA. We know that. So why would we imitate that? We know the gorillas, we know that's alpha. We know that. So those type of brand moves where you know exactly where it's coming from, those are those moves that you don't touch, because those are sacred moves that they have for their organization for whatever reason. They are symbolic to them. You can create your own. You take things from Afro beats, you take things from Africa, England, Switzerland. You can make your own stroll. We've done it. OE Pie has done it. ALZ has done it. Right? There's a signature move, right? Where everybody does every org across, even the white orgs do that. We know that.
Yep.
But we know when that pinky go up and it start waving up in the air, we know who that belonged to. We can't do that. It's disrespectful. It diminishes the brand that they created. Mm-hmm. And their symbolic meanings behind those certain moves.
Do you feel they should be mad? Do y'all feel that Divine Nine has a right to be upset?
Can I?
Absolutely.
I want to definitely piggyback on bruh. Those signature moves, like you said, or have been known for hundreds of years or 100 years, and they're there for a reason. Even Divine Nine don't do and mimic another Divine Nine, and if they do, they know that they're doing it on the purpose or the reason to be disrespectful, if that's what they're doing, or battle, if that's what you want to call it. But they don't even, y'all guys excuse me, get some lights. They don't even disrespect each other in that manner. And I don't see the necessity, as Bruh said, get your own original, which symbolizes who you are. You know what I mean? And as you said, I do feel they should be disrespected or felt disrespected, because I know if you took our signature moves or if you took our hand sign or thing like that, I would feel disrespected in that manner. The other thing is, Bruh said that the language, and we talk about how women are addressed in this day and time, and why would we continue to do that? Why would we speak of women that way? Why would we celebrate, I'm going to take yours from you, and on and on and on? How does that show that this is a community-based organization where we're trying to better our community? How are these things bettering the community? I'm really, really lost on that. I'm just appalled with addressing people or women in that manner. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see how that would. And then we're trying to mentor to younger, 9-5, women, and they believe that all the way. That's the way it should be, because they don't have mentor to look up to know how I'm supposed to carry myself, how I'm supposed to treat others, and be language. You know what I mean? Do we have family? We have children.
Hey, Ali, your phone is breaking up. You're choppy. You're really choppy.
Okay.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
Uh-oh. It was good for a minute there.
I'm not sure what's going on with it. But the thing is, like I said, we have families, we have children that, children in college, we're wherever. Why? What do you
Bro,
do?
we can't understand you.
Yeah,
We
you
can't
Okay.
you really
understand. Your
breaking
phone
up.
is way too choppy.
Okay, I'll call again.
Okay,
All right.
that'll work. I'm gonna go ahead, bro. You had your hand up. You wanted to go ahead and say something.
First of all, can y'all hear me? Because it's still early here in California. I'm on the freeway, but I wanted to join this conversation. To me, it's a couple of things going on, and we talk about this a lot in the political world, and I think we have to really put this in a certain context for certain people to understand, even not just why it's disrespectful, which our brothers have really articulated very well, but also why it's so detrimental to our community. We talk about, in the political realm, we talk about how Black women have a different standard. We don't get to do the stuff that the white boys do. We don't even get to do the stuff that the men do. And so when you aim for the lowest standard, you diminish every person that's coming before you. And you limited your credibility to not just be a mentor to people, but for people to want to build anything with you. So I think that that's an important key, is that you see a lot. It's not even just that they are taking these sacred, let's make sure we're using that word. These are sacred moves for these organizations that have some been around for over 100 years. That's number one. But also, in putting together this show, you are taking the things that you think you see in being these organizations, not anything that you know about what's sacred, what's not, why the cues do the hooks. It's not just to look cool. It's not something that Shaq did, on the basketball court to look cute. And I think that that's the thing that as a older masculine center woman really grieved in my spirit, because it goes back to that old thing of wanting to emulate and look like somebody who you want to be. It's really about normalization. You feel you can't be a part of those organizations, but that's the look that you want to go for. You don't know what brought it about. You don't know what made it important. And I think that's the thing that's hurting me, is that the whole presentation, the way that people were carrying themselves, the things that they were saying, is because that's what they think that those organizations do. They don't know anything behind those. And also, talking to a lot of my D9 friends and family members, it's kind of generational. So I know that even in their organizations, they're having this conversation about the way their younger members don't respect these same organizations that they've come into. So I don't know if I'm happy or what the appropriate word is, but we are not the only ones having this conversation about the lack of respect about what a Greek organization is supposed to be. It's not just about looking like a frat boy. It's not just about being fresh. Like, being fresh is very nice, but I'm sure if you went to an OG Kappa, they'll say, yeah, we look good, but we achieve. My boss is a Kappa from UCLA. He was a step master and a cane master, or whatever they call the cane master. He was one of them. And he will tell you, yeah, we look good, but we look good because we honor achievement. So if you are just looking good, but you can't, like Bruh said, you can't even tell me what your org has achieved and wishes to achieve. What moral do you stand on? What is it that you want your members to be when you're bringing in these young masculine centered women who don't really have a lot of examples in media of them being anything but drug dealers and rappers? What is it that you are bringing to your younger members to tell them how we are going to progress our community? And that was not seen. And the last thing that really, really hurt my heart is the lack of accountability, the needing of somebody to tell you it's okay, they being homophobic. Nah, man, they're not being homophobic. That was terrible. What you did was terrible, because a lot of the people who actually commented on this are people who are allies to our LGBT organizations. They want us to win. They've seen back in the day some of the orgs who did the same thing. I'm not going to name their name, but we've seen viral videos of this for decades. They've seen that and they want our organizations to win, but they said the same thing. This is setting your movement back. So I would like for community members to stop coddling these people. Tell them the truth, because everybody has the capacity to grow if somebody has the courage to tell them the truth.
And I agree
with that,
there.
I see my time.
Thank you for coming to the TED Talk, baby.
Welcome. Before I let you go, before I let you talk, real quick, I think that is the major thing, is that we as a fraternity, as fraternities, we have a responsibility, because think about it. They crossed a group of people that are now going to be deprived of understanding what really true Greek life is. And let me put this out here on the airway so everybody understands that several of the LGBT Greek organizations, fraternities, and sororities are very much work with, celebrated, and respected by the Divine Nine. Okay, I personally have been in an airport and I had an Omega stop me. Why? Because he heard about that we were on TSU's campus and he wanted to say congratulations. And we were in Atlanta. So please understand, they know that all of us exist. And she's right. They want all of us to win. We all have to understand we can't stand in their shoes. Them shoes are 100 and some years old. We got 16-year-old shoes on, and we're going to keep moving in our lane and keep our respect going. And I feel like there are other fraternities like us that are older than us that are doing that as well. So go ahead, Old School.
I just wanted to say that, just kind of piggybacking off of what Max has said and Tenacious, is the fact that just that probate alone has taken us back so far, and I don't think they even know it, because my first thing about this that I'm getting ready to say is that a probate is, yes, it's introducing your new members into the organization, introducing them to the world, but it's also as well as letting the world know that, hey, we know information, we have a foundation, and this is what it is. And it was not shown at all, and that was one of the things that really kind of hurt me, because I was waiting to see what else they had besides the strolling, because that's not what organizations in the Greek world are all about. Like even now, I know on the other video that I was looking at, the girl that was spearheading the live, she was talking about what she's doing in one particular city. But what is your organization doing as a whole? That's just one area. You had people that crossed in different areas of the United States. Okay, yes, you're doing a give back, you're doing a back to school drive, and because it's not in your area, kudos to you. But at the same time, what you presented at your probate precedes what you've done as far as community service. So the world is not gonna look at your org and say, hey, not anyone that really wants to pledge a Greek organization of the LGBT community because of anything else but bullcrap. And like for us, we're literally a community-based organization, and we are out there in every area of where our bros live. You know what I'm saying? We're doing the work, we're doing the footwork, we're putting ourselves out there in a positive manner, and you just shot all of that down as a whole. That's what really grinds my gears, because even with you, Q, you've paved the way for us. You know what I'm saying? Our foundation is solid. We know what we're about. We're not about the BS. We're about improving society and making them aware of what the LGBT community is really about. And you just tainted that massively.
It makes it hard work, you know. Max, what you got? And then I got Elite. I got you.
Not gonna lie, it really would have been a good probate because they had a great turnout.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. They had an amazing turnout. They had a huge line that crossed. But again, anything I knew about or what I wanted to know about your organization got lost in the language. And unfortunately, just like my job, I have a reputation to uphold. So I can't trust you in an environment where I'm around very important people doing very important work, and I have that type of language around me that is going to deter other organizations from working with you. Do you really think I'm going to let you work with an organization with kids and abused women, and you have that type of language on a public forum where everybody saw and shared it? Like, let's be logical here. I can be all type of dope boy shit all day long, but guess what? My name has to hit that room before my physical presence does. And if the first thing that comes out of somebody's mouth is, don't fuck with them, they ratchet, they ghetto, child, they cussing everybody out, what do you think's gonna happen? And I'm just saying that, and that's not to say that they can't change. That is not to say that this is a publicity stunt, because again, negative publicity brings in people. We don't know the situation, right? We don't know, but I'm just saying, let's just look at it on all different angles. It's definitely not a good look. And I'm gonna take a line from a show that is old as hell, which is Scandal. Papa Pope said it best: as a Black woman, you got to do what?
Was it 20
Work
times?
twice as hard to get half
of
what they got.
Amen. And now it's even more. You got to work 20 times harder, because guess where we are now? It's not just because of what they've done. It's everything that's happening in our country right now. So now
we
really
do have to work this year.
And you know, we really do have to work harder because we're masculine presenting. Go ahead, Elite.
How is it now? Can you understand me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I was addressing the same thing that Bruh's addressing, in reference to language and how women are being addressed. You know, in addition to that, being a collegiate organization, that it right there is the very thing that I fight every time I go to meetings at each university that I go to, that this is what they don't want. This is what is put in my face every time, the image that they have of us as a masculine presenting Greek organization, that we behave that way, we treat women that way, we want to try to be men, we don't set an example, we don't have a constitution. What is your purpose? You know, what is it that one of the biggest questions that they always ask is, what is it positive that you and your organization can bring to our campus? Show me what you can bring to our campus. Write what you can bring to our campus. Tell me what you've done in the past, because this is what we've seen in the past. And here just recently, this was put in my face. You know, that's the disheartening thing. And then when we're out there, as I said, you've got younger masculine presenting that don't have mentors, that don't have an example to look toward. So they're looking toward these rap songs and these guys that are on the street behaving in that manner. So when they see that, it's like, oh, see, that's the way I'm supposed to act. This is the way I was behaving already. Then when they see organizations that, hey, this is the community service project that we have. We also have families that have children that are going to college, that are doctors, that are graduating, that, are playing professional sports or whatever the case may be, but they don't see that. You know what I mean? And then at that probate, what is the purpose of your organization? What is it that you're bringing positive into society? And as you're talking about the nomenclature of where our country is today, Supreme Court just told Donald Trump, oh, well, you don't have to be responsible for going and running over the Capitol and using the language that you use. You can do what you want to do. It doesn't matter that you were president. Let's act the way these other countries do, that you've sent your veterans to go and say, hey, that's the way we behave. You know what I mean? So we have a fight, and he does not want any LGBT community in anything. And military, he's trying to get us out of the police, trying to get us out of any type of political arena.
I think you got excited. Look, bro, I think you got excited.
Break it up again.
Look, you got excited. And your phone.
You got excited and
you got excited and your phone got started chopping up.
It's when you get excited.
That's what it is. You got excited and your phone said chop, 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 and chopped you up.
I got that talking too fast, I guess.
That's what it was.
But yes, he doesn't want us in the political arena at all. He doesn't want LGBTQ to have a voice, call us animals, and so, you know what I mean? This kind of thing just did not help that situation at all. And one of the things a while ago, you said, would the D9 be offended? Well, I would be offended. I would be offended if someone took our hand signs, our rituals, or whatever we were doing and mimicked it. Of course, they're going to be offended. They're offended with each other. They don't even do that unless they're trying to insult each other. No way in the world would Crimson and Cream Deltas put up a mirror. That is not going to happen. And you guys, my entire family, we are all Greek. No way in the world is Omega going to walk at Christmas dinner, even though our family is having fun, and do a. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? There are too many other things that you can do to make your own signature. That's that important.
And I think, and real quick, and then Max, I got you. And I want to hear some of my other brothers as well.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I wanted to hear from some of the newer people who have joined our organization, especially Justified, KRG, and COG, because I want to hear their input, especially freshly coming into this organization.
Exactly. I do definitely. Please unmute and let us know. I mean, and there's not a right view, wrong view. It is it's what you think. What did you feel? How did you see this?
Me personally, hey y'all, it's Justified. I felt a little offended by it, like, because we're trying to take it one way and they're going a whole nother way and using other people's strolls and stuff. And my brother being accused, I mean, I didn't see any cute things going on, but that I just really it's a lot. It's a lot that I could say, but I don't want to say too much either, because y'all know how I could get. So but yeah, that was very offensive. And like Big Bro Max was saying, I didn't even get to see who are y'all. Like, I mean, we going through the process that I just went through. I was just like, okay, so what was their process then? Because I got to learn my org. And, I didn't hear anything of, okay, when were y'all founded? None of that. But you choose to take other people who has paved the way for us, and you choose to mimic their strolls. These people have meanings behind those strolls. And like my LB was saying, do they even know the meaning of what they were doing? Like that none of it made sense. The cussing, very offensive. It was, you almost had to be censored. Yeah, I'm sure they carded it before you walked in. You got to be 21 to see this show right here.
But people understand, people paid to come to their probate. People paid money. And I personally don't know the couple that they were pointing at when they said, I'll take your bitch, I'll take your hoe. I don't know who those people
Oh,
were,
wow.
but I would have been very offended had I been sitting there and I'm with my wife or I'm with my girlfriend and somebody said that to me. I would
Oh,
have been
yeah.
very offended. And you know, that's just not a joking thing that they could have said to me, like, oh, I was just joking. That
I'm gonna
would not
let
have
y'all
come off.
know you don't know people's mental state these days.
Okay.
And people are
I
serious about their
promise you.
relationships right now. People are very, very serious about their relationships.
Two
I
people
don't
I go
know.
hard for every single day.
You don't
Man
know.
and Katrina. You can't say nothing bad about neither one of them. Or
So
you
I
gonna be
think,
know it.
stinking the hooch.
Trina.
Know
there
it.
you go.
Know it.
What you got, KRG?
She had to come
So,
on camera for this.
Yeah, I see that. I
no,
see.
no. So look, honestly, I'm a come from a different direction. So with what I saw, yes, there was a lot of disrespect. You know, the thing that worries me is, one, you want to talk about Greek unity, but all them Greeks that was in there, you disrespected. You told several people, every last one of your new members said something about taking somebody bitch, or they sneaking with you, or they gon', you know what I'm saying, they gonna creep around. Like, that's what the whole line is about. Just, so how am I feeling I'm gonna have Greek unity with you, knowing that this is what you do and you proud of it? I'm not coming around you and y'all members, or coming to your community service, and I got to sit here and watch what you doing because you want to prove what you standing for, crossing, and what you known for, and why you got the name you got. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. I don't agree with, but there was little nuances throughout that was kind of dope.
Okay.
As far as, like, I think they had the one bro up in the air, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen that, not in our community probates. I mean, I've seen a couple of things here and there, whatever, but the antics and the, I guess, showmanship maybe is the
Okay.
word.
Mhm.
That aspect was dope. I wish how they introduced themselves would have been a little different, because it does kind of make me feel like, I don't know, like, y'all so proud about how y'all do stuff, like, and why you got your name, and what, you sneaking around, or my bitch, you know what I'm saying, calling you, it's like, come on, man. Like, if we're gonna have Greek unity, put that positivity out there. Make me want to be like, yeah, I'm about to call these cats up. Like, hey, I want to do this. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, a lot of stuff can be embellished and things like that. Because I do actually know one of them out, just not super personal, but they cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool. We see each other's love. You know what I'm saying? But, like, after seeing that, it's kind of like, okay, wait, what y'all on though? What y'all on? Because if y'all have a party out here, like, I'm the only member here, she's the only member for her org here. You saying, oh, my bruh's coming up, we want to have a party, or we about to do this community service. I'm like, all right, now I just come by myself. You know what I'm saying? All right. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, I'm like, how am I going to align myself with y'all? And this is, because I don't even care about the stroke. Well, I care about it,
but like whatever the negativity or whatever the homophobic or whatever comments and stuff that was made, whatever viral, however viral it went, I know at the end of the day, dancing is creativity. Dancing is expression. That's what strolling is. So if y'all can't take the time to figure it out, like, we don't have to do all of this. It's sweet. Yeah, it looks sweet. The shit looks sweet. Yes, all that shit. But that's their stuff. That's their shit. So do something a little different. You know what I'm saying? But I know people say it's only so much you could do. No, it's creativity. You just gonna have to sit a little bit longer and think it out. Think this process out. Like, okay, we can't do that. But I mean, it's so easy to go into that because I get it. It's strolling. That's what you see. You see. But at the end of the day, it's still so much more you could do. Like I said, it's gonna be a little harder. You're gonna have to take an extra couple of hours to like, dang, okay, I keep going back to that. We can't do that. Let's take this out. You know what I'm saying? But that's my whole thing. Like, that probate did not paint a positive picture to where I want to say, yeah, I want to work with these cats. I want to call them up like, hey, let's do some community service out here. You know what I'm saying? Or I work a lot. My cousin is a Zeta. I do a lot of community service with her. I don't want to call y'all to say, hey, come, because I don't want you trying to pull none of these Zeta hoes or bitches or whatever you want to, you know what I'm saying? How y'all present y'all, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like y'all put yourselves kind of in this box of like, I don't know if I really want to work with y'all cats like that. I'm sure y'all
to network.
I'm
Nobody
sure y'all do y'all community.
I don't want that reputation attached to Sigma reputation, to my personal reputation, to my integrity, to my morals.
Could be, and like you said, they could be amazing people.
Yeah,
but we will never know.
Like I said, I know the one.
We will never know.
But it's just kind of like, yeah, but your bros come around. I don't know if I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool and all.
But like,
I'm sure y'all got y'all thing, but the way y'all was, if I was, like you said, if I was sitting in there, if I came down there and my bed with me and we at y'all probate, like, nah, like, I probably would have been like, nah, we got to go, dog, because somebody played too much around here. Like,
but you know, Elite,
I'd be too embarrassed
point.
to even have my wife there. I want to take my wife to I would be too embarrassed for her to see that, and for her to even be exposed to that. She'd be like, hey, this is what this community is about. This is what you do.
Well, Elite, you made a good point. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Elite made a really good and important point talking about the conversations with the folks on campus about, do you have a charter? What is your mandate? All those type of things. Because what they don't know, or maybe they do, I don't know. I know they don't teach you this in Stroll like a Kappa and Stroll like a Sigma. And yes, I'm saying that sarcastically because that was what was brought up as the reasoning for stealing people's signs. They stole it they learned it at a Stroll like a Kappa, which, that community already has problems with those events anyway for this particular reason. But the thing that a lot of people don't know is all those things that calling people out their names in a probate, calling people out their names and doing derogatory things in your letters, National will snatch you up in these organizations. I know people who have gotten suspended by their national organizations for just being on a talk show and talking about specific topics in their line jacket. So then it goes back to the idea of, what do you stand for? What are you teaching your members that your organization stands for? And what do you hold each other accountable for? Because there is a lack of accountability as a friend group. We're not even going to call it an organization right now. As a friend group, you do not hold your bros accountable for the way that they represent you in public, for the way that they like wearing yes, you look good in your letters. I love wearing my jacket. I need a new one. But once you put that jacket on, it's just like if you work at McDonald's, if you work for Bank of America. Bank of America used to teach us in training, once you put on that headset, you are in your show because you are representing Bank of America. So what do those letters stand for? You can call women bitches and hoes. Where in your letter? Alpha Phi Alpha would never stand for that. I'll tell you, my friend that got suspended, all he did was go. I'll show you how old I am. He went on the Kenan Ivory Wayans show and answered some question about, yeah, child, you know. But he went on the Kenan Ivory Wayans show and he answered some question about dating and sex, and then threw up, their sign on camera. You know how they pan to you? He threw it up on camera. National snatched him up quick. Somebody got a picture sent to AKA National of them at some concert. I can't remember what it was. Somebody snapped a picture of their line jacket on the back so they knew who they were, and they see them, and National snatched them up. So I think before we got on the call too, and this has been even before I had the honor of joining Sigma Omega Phi, just being around LGBT Greeks for so many years. One thing that I really and truly hoped for our community was for us to finally put together something similar to the National Panhandling Organization, because in the outlines of how you get into the organization and stay in the organization, these are the type of things that get you in and take you out. You think about organizations like Iota Phi Theta, they were founded in what, 1968 or something? They didn't 63. Get into the they didn't get into MPHC until I was in college. It was a Elite 8 for years. So I hope that one day we finally get an opportunity to put together something where we are able to call each other accountable. But I think that would be a big one. I'm pulling up next to my Zeta friend. But where we can hold each other accountable.
That's going to be difficult, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we have so many chiefs. That's why we have over 100 and something LGBT Greek letter organizations. Because either when your org holds you accountable or you hold them accountable, something happens. I don't like how you did this, and then I'm going to make my own org. And the cycle happens over and over and over again. So if we were to ever do anything like that, who gonna be the chief and who gonna be the Indians? Because I guarantee you it's gonna be a complete mess, because for one, all of us gonna be on our periods at the same time. Let's be clear. We don't have, like, I get, because you gonna have to figure out who nuts is bigger than the next. Well, who's gonna be on this panel? That's what I'm saying, because everybody's gonna want a piece. When you have over 100,
I'm gonna help y'all out. It's gonna happen.
We've been talking about it for how long?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It is not a Panhellenic. It is not a council, but I am letting you all know, and this is something, if you've looked at the schedule for the LGBT Greek weekend, Thursday, there is a private event that is just for founders and presidents. So please note, we will be having conversations, and I will let you know, it is not just the senior orgs. It is orgs that are doing stuff. It is orgs that are making a difference in the community. And so, yes, I do. And I think we're at a point now where we're ready to put, nobody's balls are bigger, right? But we're also respectful to those who have paved the way, right? I believe we're at that point now that we can have those conversations and honor those, respect those that have been here. Like I was going to say, these guys disrespected OEPI. Because they are.
How do you do that?
They are our first sorority for lesbians.
Ever.
And in what they did in their probate, not that they even realized it. They didn't even realize it. But by you disrespecting Black women, other lesbians that possibly were in the room, you disrespected those ladies. Okay? Of course, they're never going to say that, because they're not going to say it. But at the end of the day, we, as masculine presenting fraternities, we must respect our sororities, right? Because if we don't do it, the non-Greek masculines are not going to do it, right? So we do have to have those kind of things. And I feel like that it doesn't matter how long it doesn't matter how long you've been here. It's the work that you've been doing. Okay. And there are some amazing organizations. I personally will tell you, there are some amazing fraternities that are doing some amazing work. Absolutely. I don't always just toot my horn on my org. I know we the shit. I know this. We prove it every day. But we also know there's other orgs out there, they doing stuff too, because everybody has their different way of helping and changing and empowering the community. And if you're true to that, your stroll and your step and your probates will be original. Okay. And for those who don't know, Sigma Omega Phi built the foundation, made sure it was strong before we started strolling. Now we got 16 years. Now it's time for us to stroll and have a little party, right? It's time for us to have a good time. But we also know that if we don't start respecting, we are women. I got titties and a coochie just like everybody else does that's a woman. And at the end of the day, how am I going to sit here and call these women bitches and hoes that I'm one? And if I do it, what you think that's telling Black men? What do you think that's telling our little girls? What do you think that's telling our young men?
How would you like it if I called your mama one? How would you like it if I called your mama one?
I'm telling you now.
How would you like it?
Somebody ass and somebody better have to
no, seriously.
LB,
no, seriously.
Speak up, man. Where you at?
Like,
what's up?
seriously.
I saw your hand up.
Oh, Cognate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cog.
Yo, no, I was waiting till y'all got done.
Come on.
Man, come on. You know I want to hear what you got to say.
You got to say.
Well, let me say, we say originality, but then we criticize for the way that they implemented their own personality and originality into their probate. Because we don't know the situation, like Bro Max said. We don't know why they did what they did. Okay. We have to understand that there's a new generation that's among us now. And we have to reach the masses the best way possible. Could they have done it differently? Yes. But who are we to judge? There's no NPHC in place for us. So who are we to judge? That's what they stand for. Just like Bro Max said, it could have been a marketing strategy. With today's society, with the advancement of social media, marketing strategies are like really the most important thing right now when it comes to building your brand or building your org. We really got to face it. We live in a society today where likes and views are valued over honor and respect.
Oh, say that again. Please say it one more time. Say it one more time.
That's why you cognizant around here, boy.
Say it one more time.
You know that, LB.
I want you to say that one more time.
I said we live in a world today. I ain't heard from you in so long.
I forgot you
Let us say that one more time. Let us say that one more time.
I said we live in a society today where likes and views are valued over honor and respect. And that's just what we have to understand, that that's what we're dealing with,
Okay.
And now you have people, basically we did what they wanted us to do. Now, whether you like the content in the video or not, you watched it. And that's what they want.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. I fast forwarded. I ain't gonna lie. I watched like 2 minutes, fast forward 10. 2 minutes, fast forward 10. 2 minutes, fast forward 10.
But guess what, though? You watched it. And guess what, though? You know who they are. You probably didn't know who the hell they were before you watched that probate. But you know who they are, whether it's in a negative light or positive light. Now you have people who are upset about what they saw and heard. You have people who are interested in who they are and what they are, what they represent. And you have people who don't really care, And then we as a LGBTQ community, we are quick to, point, hey, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. And that's it's in our nature, because that's what the straight people said we're not supposed to do. The life that we're living. So we're quick to, say that's not what other people are supposed to do. But let's look at it. What if, because we don't know the situation, what if they were paying tribute? Now, I'm not talking about calling people out of their names and the disrespect. I mean, as far as the strolling with the moves. What if it was, paying tribute to the people who paved the way before? We don't know the situation. I'm just speaking on what if. I'm not saying that that's what they did, because clearly, there were some things that we felt like were disrespectful. the most thing I felt like was disrespectful was the calling the women out of their names. You know, some stuff you know that wasn't called for, but that could be who they are or what they are. You got Q's, they're the nastiest fraternity ever. They'll pick a woman up and eat her quackwa in the middle of a stroll. I've seen it. So, you know,
I have seen.
and
You're
you
not by
know,
yourself.
is that something that they should be, you know, doing on the when you look at them from a political standpoint? No, but that's what they do when they're having a good time. That's in their nature, you know, as being a cute dog. You know what I'm saying? So let's not be quick to pass judgment. We all are ignorant to the things we don't know. That's the new organization. Maybe they don't know. So let us be the umbrella and take them in and teach them these things. Let us educate so that we can clearly get the vision for the LGBT Greek organization that we want it to be for the future.
Okay.
Hey,
I feel as though
I'm not mad about that viewpoint, guys. I'm not.
Hey.
I can accept that viewpoint.
You can't be mad at it.
I can
Hey,
accept
Cognizant.
that viewpoint right there. What you got for us, Perseverance?
Bruh, hold on, Cognizant.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Man, I haven't talked to you in so long. I forgot that you prophesize and that process that you do. I appreciate you, bro. I miss you, bro.
That was dope.
That was and
Thank
honestly,
you, bro. I miss you too. I miss you too. Thank you, bro.
I can definitely take that viewpoint, and I can look at it and I can go, okay. I
do want to add this. I know my LB was like, you know, I don't want to work with I can't see myself doing community service, but you got to listen to this now. And I don't want to take it here, but God always qualified the call. He never called the qualified. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Meaning,
absolutely.
What I'm saying is that we may not want to do community service with them, but we got to look at how many people they reach. Look, that room was packed from wall to wall, door to door. That line that they crossed was long as 75. So that's something that we want to bring, you know, that's some stuff that we want to implement. We want to cross lines with 18, 20
that's what
people.
I'm saying.
So
They
we
had
want to know
nuances.
what are they doing. Now we don't have to take I feel like we can take the bad. I mean the good. We don't have to take the bad.
Right.
You know
That's what I'm saying. They had some good shit in there.
So
I did
mean,
like
you know,
the jackets and the shoes.
It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't all good, but it wasn't all bad either. That's what I was trying to say. But that's it.
They jackets were fire.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. They
on
jackets
the
were
Unity.
fire.
I give them credit. I give them credit.
I told bro those
like they were
on the unification. On the unification, they get an A. But on the content, I was not a happy camper. And that could be, and I'll say it like this, for me, it could be because of age. And that's something that I have to look at as well as a founder of an organization. I can't always put my concept, so to speak, or how my structure, because my structure has to change with the generations that we are approaching.
Man, respect is just
but
respect.
We still got, but I'm gonna say,
I don't think.
But we still have to have respect.
Exactly.
So the language was not my better. That was not.
Can
my
we hear from Percy? She's had her hand up for a minute.
Sorry about that, Percy.
How y'all doing? I've been sitting back and I've just been listening to everyone's different comments, and I get everybody's point because everybody has their own point of view. But yes, I am your generation, our generation, but working in the field in which I'm in education, I have saw, because I've been in education for 30 plus some years, that our generation has changed tremendously. Tremendously. They don't respect their own parents. They don't respect nothing that goes on. Now, once I've heard somebody say something about mentoring. I heard somebody say something about, I know and I teach this every day, when you know better, you do better. And apparently I did hear somebody say something about, I heard Kaza when she stated that may be what they do in their area. That may be quote unquote okay in their area, but in the eyes of everybody else, that's not. That's their point of view. That's how they view everybody else. Or again, We don't know the situation. But I said all that to say that if they knew better, then they would do better. How would they know better if nobody have taught them better? They are a young fraternity just coming into. Nobody taught them. Just like you said, things happen in different fraternities, sororities. Everybody break up. Everybody have differences. And the first thing they do is, I'm gonna go start my own org. I'm starting this org out of anger, not out of what I already know, what I was really taught. I'm starting out of anger because this one didn't do the same thing that I want to do, so I'm gonna start my own org. We're gonna do this and gonna do that. If you know better, you better. Somebody needs to take them up on it, just like Kazi said, up under their umbrella, and them. Will Sigma be able to do it? Will we? I don't. Community service for everybody. Just like they said, the mask that they brought along with them, regardless of whether it was positive or negative, and a lot of it was negative, but a lot of it was positive. In the fact that they were together, there was unity, and you can tell that there was brotherhood there. Whether it was to our approval or whether it was to their approval, it was brotherhood there. And you can tell they was on the same accord.
Okay. And I'm not, like I said, I can see that. I think we can all accept that. We just feel like, and here's the question. Does that probate and the stroll and the comments, because think about it, when Lil Duval put it on his page, he made the statement of Bulldoggers now have a stroll. Okay. Then when their founder went live, she mentioned that another artist that she actually loves, he put it on his page, and they're looking at it going to the shade. They're like, and they were like, this is, everyone's getting millions of views off of their video, and it's not on their platform. So my question is, does this affect us? Yes or no?
Yes. First of all, let's be clear. Let's be clear. If people are using their footage, they should be getting paid. Whether it's negative or not, they should be getting paid. That money should be going back to them. Let's be clear. So whatever funds are being generated from their original video, from their image, yeah, they should get something from that. I agree with
Lil
that.
Duval got I think it's at 2 million views at this point. And that's
but he don't even need that money.
Well, I think it's in Cupid. I know, we a little bit older. Clearly, I was watching the Keenan Ivory Wayans show in college. And per se, this is why I love you, because I used to be a teacher, but I was the mean teacher and I couldn't take it no more, child. I was letting kids know. I was like, why you come in my classroom smoking? It's so funny though now, the accountability that they didn't want when I had them in 10th grade, when I see them in the streets on the BART, they are so happy that they had somebody who yelled at things. I yell a lot.
All right, the BART.
Look, when we talk about,
they appreciate it now. They appreciate it now in life.
People have they're valuing clicks and views over, morals. This is very true. But we have to still have a balanced view of it, because we may likely have a fascist as president because all he cares about is clicks and views. And he doesn't have anybody around him who is willing to tell him the truth. They just want to get clicks and views with him. Because that's what happens when these people say that they hate. I know I keep talking about politics. When people say they hate Donald Trump, they'll never support him. He take them out to his golf tournament or golf course, and he feed them good, and he give them drinks and tell him that he will help them build their brand. And that's all that they want. I do agree, though, if there is an opportunity to have these conversations about why, real conversations at a round table together about why that harms our community. I mean, on the one hand, you do have more people than ever now seeing Masculine of Center fraternities and knowing that we exist. But for so many of them, and I'm sure I'm like a lot of y'all, I got this video, not the one that we saw of the probate, but the one of the stroll from other friends, because they knew that I had just joined this organization. Is that y'all? Girl, no. So, we have to figure out, and I think this is something that all marginalized communities have a hard time doing. We don't know how to hold each other accountable, but also hold each other. And we don't want to harm each other. We don't want to devalue each other's experience. We don't want to do to our family members, because we are family members, what the world is doing. But instead of actually giving loving criticism, we just say, "Gone, baby," and do it. That's what I saw on the BET Awards the other day. But also, I'm Cupid's age, so maybe I shouldn't have been watching it.
You know what? I gotta go back and watch the BET Awards. I didn't see clippets, and I'm like, I need to see what happened, because apparently a lot of stuff went down.
Miss Victoria Mo.
I didn't see it.
Oh, she was the good part. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff, but I think for me, and I hadn't posted about it yet, because Pride just ended here. It's not lost upon me that Sexy Red, who is someone who's virtually endorsed Donald Trump and made a mockery of politics and the presidential election, you had her platformed on the show, but then you had Taraji P. Henson at every commercial break telling people, this is what's going to happen to you. You need to vote, like trying to really educate folks. And there's no balance. How do we create? The thing that I loved about Cardi B so much is people can call Cardi B ratchet all day long, but she took the idea of her vote and educating the people that follow her platform very seriously. You may not have liked the way she said it. You might not have liked the way she was interviewing, candidates and stuff, but she knew she had such a large following, and she took it seriously. And I think that if you can get people to understand, yes, now you have this platform, you've gotten so many thousands of views on TikTok, people are looking at you now. How do you leverage this platform? Or do you just become a shade room? Because anybody can be the shade room.
And I don't think we want to, I don't want, my thing is, I don't want them to be in the shade room, right? Because it will affect all of us, but I don't want them to be in the shade room, because I think if you can find a way to build the community and do right by the community, by all means do that. And like we've all said here, and I really didn't think about it. Now that you all have said it, I can actually take that and think about, hey, they probably do some really great stuff. This was just a bad moment.
And I hate the fact that this bad moment is outshining everything else. I hate that this one moment, like, literally just outshines everything and the good things that people are doing in our community. And again, we don't talk about it a lot because we do so much. I don't have time to stop and take pictures. And I'm not saying that I would never do community service with individuals, because I'm always down for the community service. There are just certain spaces that I would not.
I said it makes me leery.
Yeah, there are certain spaces that I would not put them in, because right now, Gamma chapter of Sigma Omega Phi, I'm trying to work with a child abuse organization, and they house about 30% LGBT youth between the ages of 0 and 18. I can't have people who portray that type of image around these babies.
That's true. That's very true.
But I'll take your donations. You won't physically be present with me, but yes, I'll take your donations for this Christmas drive that I'm trying to do. Yes, we can go and do a clothes drop off or whatever. We can probably even do a feed the homeless. But there would be certain spaces that I would be, like my bro KRG said, would be leery of, because if you come off that aggressive and that offensive in spaces that I'm going to be in, such as abused and neglected children and abused and abused women, Black women specifically, like I can't have you in that space when I saw that. And again, it's unfortunate that this moment outshine whatever good they could possibly have going on. they could have actually mentioned it at the probate. And nobody probably would have even heard it because we were so in tune on the disrespect. And they have so much potential. That's the crazy, like you could see the potential in the org. You brought out mass number of people. You crossed a huge line. Y'all were fly as hell. Like flat out, I could never look that good in that type of jacket for real. And y'all had the white pants on, like, y'all would have me out here looking like a marshmallow. Ain't no way. But like, seriously, they have potential. Think about if it would have been them feeding 100,000 people in their community.
And you know what? Yeah. So let me hit on that real quick. Homegirl I was talking about, she did do a little video of when she was down there. They gave out food. That's not what went viral. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It was on her page.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? And it probably got 27 likes. I don't know. It could have got more. But I'm just saying, like, the things that they are doing good ain't nothing compared to the mess.
Because human nature is already negative. Human nature is already where we gravitate to those types of things. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, but that negative thing that they did is going to bring in a whole bunch more because they think that that's a cool thing to do. That's a cool way to speak. And especially when you combine it, you know, me being a musician and all the different genres of music, with that being the type of music that's out there, especially when you talk about the Sexy Reds and all of those, and you combine that with that probate, I'm telling you, that's what's going to draw. People don't want to hear or human nature that, okay, I fed these people, or I did a veterans program, or I did a health and wellness for women, or LGBTQ masculine women health. You know, unfortunately, and me being in that health industry, I know how difficult it is, because that's not really what they'd rather go. They don't care that 86% is people die from BBL. They don't care about that. They're like, oh, but I'm going to get one because that's what everybody else is doing. Doesn't matter that I could die. Doesn't matter that it's a higher death rate than heart disease. You know what I mean? Same thing with this. Okay, well, they don't stroll like this and they don't talk like this. I like what they had on. I like the way they looked. I like what they did. And it's going to draw more. I mean, it is.
I think you get that the thing that I've learned being in education, because this is my first round of being in education, doesn't matter what kind of attention I get, long as I'm getting attention. And so negative attention, I still brought people, as my bruh said, we watched the video. We kept up with the crazy.
But it's not all negative attention though, because you see the comments under the videos and stuff. So it's not all negative. You know what I'm saying? It's just right now that negative is outshining anything positive, and that's the unfortunate part. You know what I'm saying? That's the unfortunate part, because like I said, they have good potential. And what they did, like my bro Percy said, and like my bro Cox said, what they did either turn people off or turn people on. I am not a Sexy Red type of person. Don't like her music, but put on some Glow. Yes. Glow. And I'm a grandmother. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm a grandmother.
Yeah, Glow.
And when you talk about that, bro, you either like Glow or you don't. There are very few in the middle. You either like Sexy Red or you don't.
I'm sorry. I can't do Sexy Red.
And I can't say that I don't like them. I don't know them. I just know what is portrayed and what is being said. And you hear the chatter, and anybody who has any family member in D9, anybody who has a friend who is in D9, they are talking about this. Like, they are on campus talking about this.
It's not just campus, guys. This is the national organizations, national boards. the national presidents and all those guys, they're having this conversation because this
and
has
it's
become
gonna
a
make
big
it,
deal.
and it's gonna make it harder, and it's going to make it harder for other LGBT Greek letter organizations to become collegiate. Now, the only step up is that Sigma Omega Phi is already on campus. We already have a reputation. They already see our timeline and our framework. We already have that set. But these other orgs that's trying to come in, oh, are you anything like this?
Yeah,
are you anything like this?
Well, it go back, Max, to what I said at the top. I mean, you know, we want to have the opportunity. This is a young org. These are young folks, et cetera, but we don't have the same threshold. Right? There's really no way to turn that inside out or change it. Because what we're fighting for is so much different. I mean, this is not like a cisgendered heterosexual organization who made a mistake and now people are talking about them. This is a marginalized group of marginalized people in a marginalized community where people already have this stereotype. And like whoever brought up Papa Pope, yes, we have to work 10, 20, 30 times harder, period. I mean, it's cute. You get your views and all of that. But the idea for me, and again, this may be a generational thing, but the idea for me of ever giving other people the opportunity to talk worse about masculine center women is just, it hurts my heart. It's not what I, as a leader. So we have to talk about leaders. Who's a leader and who's not a leader? As a leader, I don't want anyone to look at me and say, oh, and I get this all the time. As you all know, there's not very many elected, especially Black. There's plenty of white butch elected and white femme lesbians that are elected. Black stud, Black butch, Black masculine center elected officials. There's like less than 10 of us nationwide. And we are saddled with those stereotypes every day. When we go into those rooms, we have to prove that we're not, jumping on all the women, even if the women is jumping on all of us. But we got to prove that we got some, we got to prove that we got some restraint, like for real.
Tenacious for president 2020.
Can I say something? Can I say something? And while you bring that up, and I know a lot of times it has to do with me being, and that's why I stopped wearing tank tops and things like that. But it's been so long since I've had to deal with somebody stopping me at a restroom door, and that happened today. And it's been a minute, because I people know basically who I am because I stay in the same circles, and there was a line, so I entered into the doorway and I said, ma'am, is there a line? Well, there's no line in the men's restroom. I said, ma'am, I know exactly what I am and I can read. Believe me, I went to college. I can read, but the look on her face was, okay, well, now that I know that, what are you going to do when you come into this restroom? You know
I'm
what I mean?
pee and go home.
But I've been there with that feel before. You know what I mean? When you're talking about, how we're looked at and what's perceived, and then when you have a video like that says this is what we do, you know what I mean? Regardless of whether it's lesbian or straight women or not, here it is, I'm going into this restroom. Are you kidding me right now? And I don't get upset very often, and bro, I'll tell you that I'm usually pretty calm, but I had to reel back because it's been a very long time since I had to deal with that type of ignorance.
I deal with that shit
think
like
about
2-3 times a month.
But think about it, with that kind of imaging out there and being so in the forefront in Black community, there's more chances of people looking at us now, more so, because I think we had started getting it where I started feeling like it wasn't as strong of you trying to be a man.
That's what I mean.
Now we have this out here that, not that they're trying to be men, because they didn't even inquire any of that, but it's just the negativity of the language that they used when talking about Black women. And I think now that's going to make it it's going to make it a little bit more that we're going to have a little bit more eyeballs on us, a little bit more, pushback on those things. And I think that it does make it a little harder for us. I just feel like let your authenticness come through And I don't feel like that was it, you know? And I'm not mad about the names. I'm not now. And I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not mad about the line names and the theme of sex. I'm not. If their theme was about fucking, then hey, by all means, that they named their people accordingly. That is fine. It is just we don't have to put the what's the word I want to use? We didn't have to put the bitch and the hoe on it. You know what I'm saying? And motherfucker. And then you telling people to shut the fuck up. That's just not. That was my thing. That was a little much for me. That was a little much for me. You know, I'm all about be yourself, be out there, do your thing. But you have carved out. Let us just note they have carved out a space based off of this that they will continue to ride with. Because they did put out a letter. They did put a response out. And that response was pretty much that this is the new legacy. And that they are authentic, that they do have, they do have a foundation, and they do have, standards and things of that nature. But this is who they are, and they're not apologizing for it. So we should not be looking for them to come in and say, hey, I apologize for this right here, because they are not. This is who they are at this time. And I think that we have to govern ourselves to our structure and to our foundation, like I think many of the fraternities that are in our community are doing. And I think that's why we've been silent. We technically right now, we are the first to say anything, to even comment or have a discussion about this. And I love the fact that not all of us agree, and that, Big C gave us an amazing viewpoint.
Yes, she did.
And I can't be mad at that viewpoint. But what I can do is say, okay, I did judge. I did. I quickly judged and said, oh, this is, and by now looking at what she said and how she said it, I can take ownership to that and be able to look at it a little bit different. I hope that my biggest thing, as the organizer of the LGBT Greek Weekend, I go to corporations so that a lot of things that we do during that weekend, the members and the Greeks don't have to pay for. I look at that video as being very detrimental to the vision that I've worked for, and that many of the organizations that stands with me have worked for on their own as well as what we've put into the work for the LGBT Greek Weekend. That is one of the things I do look at. And we do have to look at the fact that we all represent the community, and we've got to make sure that it's in the most positive light possible, because they expect us to be that was in that video. They expect us to treat women that way and speak of women that way. And I just, that is my only take on it. I want y'all to take a moment. Everybody, please have a moment and give us what your final thought. Go ahead, Matt.
You also have to remember that as we sit on here, we are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to anything remotely human rights. We are Black, we are women, and we are lesbians. We are three things that everybody hates. Including our own people. You got to think about that. We are Black, women, and lesbians. We got all three of the sixes on our foreheads. And not to mention that we are already looked at as us being Black men. So that right there takes it to a whole nother level. And I was the one who mentioned Papa Pope, and even my brother Tenacious said it best, like, we got to work 30 times as hard. 30 times as hard. Y'all have to remember, Roe versus Wade was never about Black women. It was never about Black women, but it affected Black women the most because not just Black women, but women of color, those type of things, because we are the ones who suffer the most during childbirth. We have the highest death rate when it comes to childbirth. So Roe versus Wade was detrimental to us. It was to protect white women. That's why it got overturned. Because we got so many mixed races, there is no longer a pure white race. That's why they overturned it. I need for y'all to listen to me. So we, as Black lesbian women, we are on the bottom of the totem pole. So everything we do is looked at so meticulously. If you got too many kids, you a slut. If you ain't got no kids, then what the fuck you here for? If you got a job, then you must be doing what? Fast food, because you're not smart enough to go to college and get a degree and get a corporate job like a lot of my brothers on this line. But I'm just saying, you know, so you have to think about that. And unfortunately, again, and I'm gonna say it again, I don't know them. Maybe there's some time in the future where I will get to know them and they could be awesome people. But it hurt us. It did. The negative completely outshined everything else, including the stuff that other organizations are doing, because nobody's talking about them. They talking about this video. And that's the unfortunate part. That's the unfortunate part about it. Again, I wish them all the best. You know, it is what it is. Peace up, A-Town down.
What you got for me, old school?
I think listening to Cog Z, it made me think in a different light, you know, because the first thing that I thought was, just like you said, Q, judgmental, you know, because that's not how I viewed a masculine identified gay woman. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to carry themselves. We're supposed to be different from the way men carry themselves when it comes to feminine women, you know. And even though it goes against all of my morals and principles, right now, today, I really can say that unless they, as an org collectively, shows something in a positive light, I don't feel that would be one of the orgs that I would reach out to as far as networking or wanting to do community service with or anything like that, because I don't want association brings on assimilation. And I don't want to be associated with that type of demeanor as a person, not so much as the org, but first of all, as a person, you know. However, I do understand what Cog Z was saying again, as far as we don't know what went on. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't. But just like when you're going to work, you leave your personal at the door. You know what I'm saying? And you come in and you do your business and you do it with a smile on your face, you know, and you keep it pushing. And when you come off work, when you get off work, then you can pick that mess back up. You know, for me, even when I'm not wearing my letters, I still stand for my org 10 toes down. And I really don't right now, the way that I see that org, I don't see myself having any form of conversation with them unless they ask me, well, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? You know, they would literally have to come to me as a person, you know, and ask those important questions, because one, life is too short to be being derogatory as and degrading as they were to females, you know. And most of all, I'm a trendsetter. I'm not gonna follow. I'm gonna give something for somebody else to follow. And so if I want to give them something to follow, I want to give them something to follow in a positive, so that my name, my org, my life won't be looked at in a negative way.
I feel you. What you got for us, KRG?
So, like at the end of the day, we all want to be seen. We all want to represent our community. We all want to bring light to our community. You know what I'm saying? I think you should take every moment that you have to do so. Like, so when I made the comment of not wanting to do community service, I just want to put this out. I'm not saying I would never. It would just make me be more leery of who I would bring. You know, like I said, I do work with the Zetas. My lady is an AKA. You know what I'm saying? I'll be careful of what type of, you know, event or whatever I would, if I invite, number one. I have to be more mindful. Like, it won't be just like, oh, I know I could call such and such and have them boys come through, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Then I have to sit and think like, these, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, I know the one, she cool. You know what I'm saying? We have our own thing here in Detroit, because the culture down in the South, you know, y'all got a lot. That is a HBCU Greek life. That's what y'all got down there. Up here, it's not the same. So we've actually made the members that are here, we made like a little collective to think of ways we can be seen. Not just one org shining, but all of us come together. And then if whoever's interested, you know, we chit chat or whatever. But so, like I said, she cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, oh, so that's what y'all, okay then. I mean, well, y'all have that over there. I'm staying my lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I ain't knocking it, but it do put something in the back of my head now. Like, all right, these what these cats on. So now I just got to be careful of what environment or what we about to do. Like I said, hey, come on through. We doing this. Her, you know, because I know her. We did stuff. We've, you know, but your bros, I don't know them, and I know you 10 toes down with them and all that. But we gonna have to talk about some things when we moving forward, you know, and that is something I will bring up whenever, you know, like, hey, what y'all doing though? Who all gonna be there? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I don't think that's being judgmental. That's just being aware. Like, y'all put yourselves out there in this light. I'd be a fool to be like, oh, come on through. Like Max said. And then they talking that shit. And we have Max's abused women stuff, and they in the talk of all these bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
That's
it's
true.
just being aware. Like, y'all shine this light on this aspect of y'all. Okay, so now we know, like, all right, we just gonna have to, like I said, ask the questions. I'm sure they know how to present themselves. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? They have lives and they have careers and they all that. But that didn't help with me just meeting you, or you just introducing this new line, or you coming on to this viral scene as well. It wasn't the probate that went viral. It was
the stroll that actually went
the
viral.
stroll.
It was a stroll, but then all
So,
of it.
this is also my question with the viral stroll. The things that y'all do have that's sacred to y'all, I don't know what that could be, because even they stance is alpha when they go down into the gorilla. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like, how would they feel if somebody was throwing up their hand signs in they dances or what? Like, would you really be okay? Because in her live, she was saying, "Hey, we're good. I talked to this person and they said, oh, that's dope." I'm like, really?
Ooh, yeah.
Which person did you talk to and said y'all strolls was dope?
That was part of Divine Nine that saw that.
Right. She says it's Divine Nine. You can't ask a Delta if me doing this Kappa stuff is okay. Even though they should step up and say, hey, no.
Exactly.
But you can't ask a Delta like, is this okay if we do this? You got to go to who? The Kappa. Like, we about to do this, you know, even if, I'm not saying you got to go all the way up the chain, even though that's probably the right thing to do. But if you do got a couple of Kappa bros, like, oh, okay, what up? You know, hey, I want to do this. I highly doubt that they're going to approve. No. And then, like, she's like, well, you got to do your research, and they're not, it's not that auxiliary thing, and it's show. I'm like, no, man, it's still like, at the end of the day, if you had something that you are known for, that's like your colors. Another group come with y'all colors, you just gonna say, oh, that's okay? Because we shimmy and all that, so go ahead and take my, no, like, it don't, you know, it don't work like that. But like they said, you know, we do got to work harder. I think some of the things they took a lot of shortcuts on. It takes a couple of extra minutes to be more creative. Cause hell, like, Q, I be calling you like, hey man, I just thought of something. Oh nope, we can't do that because that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it do take like the extra work. And I think they copped out in some areas. I mean, it could be, like my bro Cox said, it could be a tribute, but you, like, I don't think that's.
You got to. Like, I think you got to say that.
I doubt it was a tribute, bro. I was trying to be out.
Right. But you can do. But here's the catch, guys. You can do that if you say it. If we decided that we were going to do it, that maybe the fall line we're going to do it, because our fall line we going to be at TSU's homecoming, right? Let's say we choose to do our probate on that to honor or to tribute to those that came before us. Let's just say we got to say that real loud, real and clear.
Right.
And we got to let them know it before we step out on the floor and do it. We got to sit down with them and say, can we?
That part.
And include them.
But wait a minute, don't go anywhere. We actually did that. And what I did was I went to the Pan-Hellenic representative on Texas Southern's campus. I went to each organization on Texas Southern's campus because we have to show them and get our probate approved. And this was Rocksteady and Marlena's line, okay, Relentless. And we showed it to them and asked them, would that be okay? And the way that those two did it, Divine Nine, and as you know, my history with Divine Nine, I won't say, they were ecstatic. I went through the Pan-Hellenic in writing, and I went through the president of the organizations in writing, and they were by all means, because of the respectful way that they showed them the probate was done. And what we did was we saluted each and every one. Just a little short. This is for the AK. And at the end of it, they said, thank you for giving us an opportunity to be Sigma Omega Phi.
And see that you can work with that, right? Because they know, but you just can't. Like, I envisioned it, I thought it, and then we did it. No, No, you know. Perseverance, what you got for us? Our educator. Love when she pulls out that education part. Come on with it. What you got for us? You got some final thoughts?
I'm just quiet. I'm just listening.
No problem, no problem.
I'm just listening at everybody different perspectives.
All right. And I will say this, being that, Perseverance is an educator, I think that we do have to look at that as well. The fact of possibly not knowing some things that they might not that we don't know what they don't know. They might not know. And so therefore the way things have come off, and I think she has a good point when she made the statement, maybe we all need to help each other be educated. A lot of people don't know the history of LGBT Greeks. They don't know who came first. They don't know which male fraternity came first, that there was a female fraternity, there was a male, there was a masculine fraternity. All those things are already out there. People don't know. So I think that one of the things I know Perseverance is really big on is that it's just that knowing, before you step out there. What you got for us, Elite? What you got? Last thoughts.
Let's first address that history of LGBTQ Greek orgs. As we know, there are several books out about the Divine Nine. Many people don't know the history of where these Greek organizations came from. So, as my brother said, as Perseverance said, if you don't, when you know, you do better. So maybe there needs to be a memoir of where LGBTQ began. So that we do know that history. It was mentioned in reference to the Omegas and them being those nasty dogs, right? And other orgs know that. Other Divine Nine, okay, well, that's those Q dogs. You know what I mean? However, they also know there's a place and a time for everything. Okay? You have celebrities, which in our process, we have you find those celebrities of different organizations that are in high places. Okay, so the time and place for everything, right? So when we talk about staying in our lane, we really can't say, well, we can. Okay, well, let's do this and everybody know this or that. So this is that order. Maybe one day that can be the case, but at this time for us, we have that trifecta. We're man in the community. We have all these things that people hate. So we do have responsibility for young coming up and looking for mentors, because many in the LGBT community and in these Greek organizations have stories where they didn't have mentors, have stories of not being accepted for who they are, have stories of the struggles of being put out of a family, or the church says this or this said that. So they didn't have a positive image, and the Greek organization was where they felt accepted and comfortable. Okay, now I can stroll. Maybe I went to college and couldn't pledge what I wanted, and I always wanted to stroll, or I always wanted to do this or do that. But within all of that, we still have a responsibility, because we have a society that still casts us aside as not being people, as not being human beings, not having rights. Today, they were talking about the WBA, and on this particular podcast, they were saying, I have season passes because I love WNBA, right? And the joke started. Well, why aren't they home having babies? Why are they on the basketball court? Well, your house was your season pass, should have been free. And this is the WNBA. So we have these negatives about us as women first, and then Black, and then LGBTQ. So we do have a responsibility of how we present ourselves and carry ourselves. And we do have our times that we party and have a good time and have fun. You know what I mean? But again, there's a time and a place. You know what I mean? And me being, in law enforcement and out in the public, there's a certain attachment I don't want with me. I don't want people to think that I disrespect women and call them this and call them that, and hey, they're a dime a dozen, because we get treated like meat already. we get treated like trash already. Okay, well, I can't have this one. There's another one out there. Or, hey, don't call me, get out. Here's your 200. Or we already have that image that, okay, if I got money, she's coming my way. You know, so we do have a responsibility of how to treat women, you know, and we've gotten lost. And I don't think age or generation should have anything to do with that, because we have a history of Black women of being treated the way we're treated from time began. You know what I mean? So we do need to change that, you know, and we want to be on campuses and we want to be respected on campuses. And they do fear, what are you going to do when you get here on this campus? How are you going to act? How are you going to treat our students? What danger are you putting our students in? You know, so it wasn't for me so much as the strolls, but I know my father, who was one of the first at Tech when Texas Southern had their Alpha chapter, he would have had a heart, just unbelievable to have that done. But he also would have educated of what that meant and why they use it, because this goes back to rights and equal rights and why we do what we do. So yes, cognizant, understanding and mentoring and teaching and learning, but we do have a responsibility.
All right. What you got for me, Big C?
I'm glad you said that, bro, Elite. Yes, we have a responsibility. We do, being that we are a senior organization, one of the first to do a lot of great things. I feel as though we should use this as an opportunity to take the lead, to take the stand and say, hey, we're going to set these guidelines or set these boundaries. Bro, Elite, you have the connections. Really, each one of us have either family that's D9, friends that are D9, but you are there every day around D9, you know, with the job that you do. You're on campus with them every day. So if there's, just like you said, you had two pledges that, you know, presented something to D9, and you know, made sure that it was okay, make sure that it wasn't, that make sure that it was appropriate, you know. Maybe we should have some guidelines that are, you know, I guess generated by some D9s, you know, that gives us guidelines on what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, and we use that as tools to teach the other upcoming organizations. Now, everybody's not gonna follow suit, but the ones who do, those are the ones that we advance for the future. Like, you know, those are the ones that we take under our umbrella and try to, you know, do community service with these orgs and try to advance LGBT Greek organizations as a whole with those, you know. Everybody you can't help. We learned that, you know, when we was young. Your mama always say you can't help everybody. So, but there are some people who are willing to do things decent and in order in the right way. And you have to band with those and keep pushing forward and not worry about the ones who fall by the wayside. You know, so I do feel like that is the responsibility that we as SOP have, because I mean, we're really acknowledging the situation. We've talked about it. So now what solutions do we have to prevent this from happening further, or to, you know, educate the people on, you know, basically what solutions are we gonna do or come up with?
Okay. We're gonna let our Neo go next. Go ahead, what you got for us, Justified?
No, I was giving a thumbs up. I was agreeing with Big C.
All right. So, all right, listen, what you got for us? Tenacious, what you got?
I think the only thing that I will wrap it up with, you know, at the end of the day, so much of what we and organizations do, it's all about people searching for community and belonging. And I love the talk about the history, as you know, I'm a history of just Black culture in general. And, you know, so many of us do have D9 families and D9 friends. And the first thing my mama did when I was my freshman year in college was to buy me one of those books that was a history of the D9 organization that I wanted to pledge. But one thing that a lot of us are facing, and Per Se has probably seen this with a lot of her students, you know, people are getting their education on most things through TikTok and social media. And so if the only thing that you're seeing is strolling and all those kind of things, you know, a lot of people are not searching for the actual history. So if we have the opportunity to get people to, I mean, maybe it's a book club, I don't know what it is, but if you have the opportunity, this is our community's history, even outside of LGBT community. This is our Black community's history when we talk about how and why some of those organizations were founded, when we talk about why Kappa Alpha Psi had to change their name, when we talk about, you know, the story about how Delta Sigma Theta, what happened to them with the suffragists. This is literally our Black history. And so, you know, if people are not having the opportunity to learn their history, maybe that is the starting point. But I hope that we do find a way and find a place for people to find that belonging and that family that they're looking for in a more healthy way, in a way that doesn't actually end up harming folks. I was with the executive director of the National Center for Lesbian Rights just last night, and she gave a quotable that stuck with all of us. She said they're what did she say? She said they're killing you with the same thing that they're telling you that they're saving you from. So, you know, we have to figure out, I don't know what it would be, but we have to figure out a way to make history important to the younger folks in our community, make the history of both the D9 and the LGBTQ organizations important enough for people who want to sit down and read about it and hear about it. You know, the history of storytelling in our Black community is how any of these stories got to be told. So however we can educate folks and also call folks in, which is something that one organization says, calling folks in instead of calling them out. Which I know I probably sound like I've been calling people out, but again, I'm the mean Black teacher. So I'll accept that, but you know, just understanding that some people just want a group to be a part of and just want to feel like they belong. So,
and I get that. So we're gonna wrap it up. I hope that those that are listening, you see how we have transitioned our mindset as well through having just this conversation, just us alone. We got to go from really being where we were like, wait a minute, this is not right, blah, blah, blah. And then we did see some things because we had some elements, some other people had a different viewpoint. Again, all we're doing right now is asking you to take what you heard tonight and have that conversation offline. Whether it turns into how ours did or you keep the same viewpoint, it never changes, that's fine. But have the conversation offline. So tonight, we thank you for listening to Shootin the Shit with the Bros of Sigma Omega Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We enjoyed you. We hope that you enjoyed us. We hope that everybody got an opportunity to learn something, whether you like us or not, whether you like what we said. Doesn't matter. It's all about taking it offline and continuing the conversation because education is going to be key. Whether, you know, and so anymore, if you have any ideas and you think that we need to talk about something else, please shoot up realboystalk@gmail.com. We have Quiet Dominance, which is with Keisha and Brittany. We also have Real Boys Talk Health Series, which I host. And then we also have Studs and Films Lavender Diaries, which will be at Atlanta, which will be live in Atlanta on Labor Day weekend with the LGBT Greek weekend. We will be talking about dating. Woo! So, bruhs, I enjoyed you. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Everyone have a great evening and thank you for joining us.